a construir un mundo nuevo, el que llevamos en nuestros corazones, un mundo de personas libres de toda opresión, un mundo en donde solo quede el recuerdo del poder captor que nos agarra por detrás y nos coloca tantas, tantas cadenas.
So Bosnia and Herzegovina is a southeastern European country. Geographically, we are set on a crossroad, so we always had turbulent war times. So women always had to work really hard in our region, but they were only given few options which they could work in. During socialist times, things have changed. The real secularism was present, but still equality wasn't established because women worked in factories. They were given full-time 8-hour jobs, but still they were expected to do the domestic job in their homes.
So after the Yugoslavia broke down, we had civil war, and the history wasn't developing vertically, but we are now in a downgraded position. So there are huge tensions and divisions between nations, which are supported by religious leaders and a huge church impact. We are talking about Christianity. In Bosnia, in my part, it's mostly Orthodox Christianity, and we need to think about this as a Christianity which supports pro-life, which puts marriage before the happiness and the will of the couple, which is getting married. People are often embarrassed to divorce, and women are mostly trapped in abusive relationships because they don't have economic autonomy, and their families are ashamed to take them back. And women in our region are only seen and valued to their roles as either mothers or either wives. Even if women take those roles, violence still happens. There was a case last year, the Kruščica River case. It was the hydropower plant project was planned in a small village. People started protesting on one bridge so that they can stop machines from coming to the river. When the local community saw that the construction firm isn't giving up, they decided to put all women on one shift to protect the bridge. They thought they wouldn't be attacked because they are women and they will have some kind of empathy. The opposite effect actually happened. Because they saw women as weak persons who they can attack. They hired private police, which brutally beaten all 20 women. They also used local authorities to forbid women from entering hospitals to get medical care for the wounds they got. This situation shows us that today women are seen powerful only when they are in neoliberal positions. We need to persist on changing this paradigm shift of what women are actually capable of. And we need to address wrongful laws and wrongful traditions. Women still don't inherit properties if they have male siblings. This system of injustice seems to be present since ever, but we already identified the cause in it in patriarchy. So therefore it is solvable and it will probably come to an end if we persist in our fight.
I'm very happy to be here and with the topic we're going to speak on, talking about Africa and how environmental challenges have impacted on women, their bodies, their work and their territories, and how we can work towards changing that script. Africa is a land of resources, but unfortunately these resources are extracted at the detriment of its citizens and for the benefit of few. These resources has led to land grabbing, which in turn has led to dislocation of communities with women mostly impacted. In the name of development, our government has given lands and resources to transnational companies. These companies have brought pain rather than gain, impoverishment, and also enriching their pockets. The rights of local communities, especially women, are mostly affected in this. From Nigeria to Mozambique, from Cameroon to Uganda, the stories are the same. For example, in Nigeria, where I live and work, the activities of a transnational oil company called the Royal Dutch Shell has continued to affect communities who host the resource. For example, in the Niger Delta, where the operational base is, communities have continued to suffer oil spill and gas flaring. These areas are mainly agrarian. The communities, they depend on farmlands, on forests, and mangroves for their daily sustenance. So their water bodies are polluted by these oil spills. Those that are fisher folks cannot get their source of livelihood because the fish ponds get polluted and they don't get to derive their source of livelihood from it. The permanent daylight in the Niger Delta as a result of hundreds of gas flare points has continued to poison the air, poison the water, and the local food system in the area. It has poisoned foods. For example, in a community in Niger Delta, some women can no longer drink from their source of water. Their streams are polluted, so whenever they take the water, most of the women there are sick. And there are cases of deformity for women that are pregnant, there are cases of bronchitis, and because the gas flare, the gases that comes out, it's been revealed that it has a lot of carcinogenic substances, so there are a lot of health-related consequences, especially on women. This unhealthy development has made life expectancy in the area to become 57. So if you live above 57, you'll be grateful that, yes, you've crossed the line. Another side development and environmental challenge is land grabbing as a result of industrial plantations. A lot of our forests are being cut down for industrial agro-commodities business to triumph. This affects the livelihood of forest-dependent people, especially women, and also their territories are being threatened as a result of this. Apart from the toxic nature of the agrochemicals they use in these plantations that affects women's bodies from the waters that run off from their streams and their food crops that are being polluted and the soil, these women sometimes face a lot of health hazards. This is because African governments have continued to promote a system of extractivism, which is rooted in patriarchy and a system of capitalism. So they are fighting hard to dismantle every form of patriarchal practices and systems and policies in their territories. We know it's a strong fight, but we know with collective efforts, with you, me, and us together, joining hands to support these women who are oppressed, victory is ours. Thank you.
Because when I talk about Earth, I never say Father Earth, I always say Mother Earth. When I talk about country, culturally I don't compare my country with father, I compare my country with mother. To me, as an Asian, the relationship between mother, feminism and environmentalism is very clear. See, when women were in control of the production system, in Bangladesh alone we had 15,000 seeds for rice. Since it got transferred to corporations, agrochemicals, the number has come down to hundreds, which clearly shows that women over the years have been disempowered and had to fight for territory, for body and for work. This is a picture from the famous Chipko movement in India, where you see women are protecting their trees, because if the trees are gone and the forest is gone, it will have an impact of them. They will have to do extra work for fuel and fodder. And this movement is often referred to as an example of ecofeminism. In the whole of, almost in the whole of Asia, our societies are patriarchal, patrilineal and patrilocal, means it's male-dominated. The inheritance line comes from the father, and after marriage it is a girl who has to change her address and not the man. Because of religious region, in most of the countries child marriage is legalized. Rape is also being attempted to be legalized. So rapist has the right to marry the girl he has raped. because of the very little decision-making power women have in their families, violence against women is increasing in the whole of Asia. In Bangladesh, of every 3 women, 2 women face some sort of violence, while in India there is 1 crime being committed against women in every 2 minutes. Most of our countries have right-wing political parties in power. We have either authoritarian regime or military regime. The negative factors of religion are overemphasized, and we are all having, because of the open market economy, new forms of colonization. The work of women is always undervalued, their knowledge ignored, and although we contribute from 66% to 88% in agriculture, among the 9 Asian countries, ownership of women in land was recorded as low as 3%, which was in my country, and the highest is 27%, which is in Thailand. Of the people who earn less than $1, of this 1.3 billion people, 70% is women. This is an example from Bangladesh, where market demanded that agricultural land be converted to saline water aquaculture and the shrimps be exported to Western countries. And you see, greenery has totally disappeared. No livestock, no fruit trees, no vegetation, no water for people to drink, no water to bathe. This is a woman who fought against this and was eventually killed. So we believe that environmental justice and gender justice are interlinked because we share the same values, we confront the same factors. What we demand is authority and choice. We don't want to eliminate men from our life, but we are challenging the power structure, and we want to bring a perfect balance in the power structure.
Yo estaba pensando en cómo empezar a hablar sin hablar tan trágicamente de lo que está pasando a nosotros. El asesinato de Marília, que hubo hace poco, fue una cosa muy fuerte porque Marília no era una persona famosa. La forma que le sucedió nos trajo mucho miedo, porque fue una forma donde el fascismo, en medio de la rúa, algunas personas sacaron armas en medio del tránsito y la balearon toda, todo cajo, la persona que estaba con él. Entonces, es un caso que muestra que como el fascismo no tiene más vergüenza de ser fascista. Entonces, ellos están agiendo una libertad que a algunos años en los derechos que habíamos conquistado como pueblos, no cuentan más. Parece que los derechos que logramos, que mucha gente luchó por muchos años, simplemente ahora no son nada. Las leyes han cambiado de una forma muy drástica y no tenemos ningún control sobre eso. La mayoría del Congreso brasileño, tanto del diputado como de los senadores, son de la parte conservadora, y esta semana están votando una ley que trata de poner los militantes del MST, Movimiento Sin Tierra, que es el mayor movimiento del campo de Brasil, y del MTST, que es Movimiento de Trabajadores Sin Techo, que es el mayor movimiento urbano de Brasil, como terroristas. Es un avance muy rápido, y donde nosotras como mujeres ya venimos de un proceso de discriminación. Cuanto más el fascismo avanza, más nosotros somos humilladas y bueno, más nos pone contra el proceso de transformación. Bueno, logramos una ley en Brasil no hace muchos años, que se llama Ley María de Peña, que es un marco en la historia de la lucha feminista en Brasil. La Ley María de Peña habla de los derechos de la mujer a reclamar principalmente de la violencia doméstica. Entonces es un proceso que para nosotras es una conquista muy grande y que también ahora está en riesgo de enfrente todo el proceso que iba de retroceso. Pero yo quería compartir algo bueno, entonces pensé en compartir también un proyecto que tenemos dentro de la vía, no solo de movimiento en Brasil, pero dentro de la vía campesina, que es el proyecto de agroecología, que es un proyecto que va más allá de la producción sin agrotóxico, del respeto a la tierra, pero un proyecto que contempla también este proyecto de respeto a la tierra, a las mujeres, a los jóvenes, a las crianzas, que tiene un proyecto de educación, que es el proceso de transformación. Y es por ahí que estamos trabajando como movimiento, acreditando que tenemos que tener nuestras estructuras y dentro de nuestras estructuras tener dominio sobre lo que queremos y lo que queremos construir. Entonces tenemos un movimiento de educación popular que hace con que nuestros niños tengan la libertad de escoger lo que quieren hacer con su vida. Pero no la libertad que el capitalismo nos dice, que es la libertad de dónde vas a trabajar para nosotros. No, es la libertad de decir, si quieren vivir en el campo, continuar a vivir en el campo, tienen derecho a continuar a vivir en el campo. Entonces, también así con las mujeres, de la valorización del trabajo de la mujer, no del trabajo que el capitalismo dice que es el de la mujer, pero del trabajo que la mujer quiere hacer. Entonces, ese es un proceso que venimos construyendo dentro de nuestro movimiento, dentro de nuestra organización, más allá de la vía, también dentro de la vía de la Tierra Brasil y de la Tierra Antal.
Un mundo nuevo porque en este ya no puedo más. Un mundo en que el sonido de tu risa explote para extender